Hello and thanks for joining us. It was an attack so gruesome it must have seemed unreal. The horrible reality of what one passenger suffered is something witnesses will carry with them for a long time. The bus was on its way from Edmonton to Winnipeg. Just after Portage La Prairie, a passenger ran to the front yelling, "Stop, someone is being stabbed." We warn you, what happened next is very disturbing. Crystal Gulman-Singh is on the highway where a murder investigation is now centered. Crystal?
In Manitoba are in shock. They say they simply can't believe that such a horrible crime would take place right here along the Trans-Canada Highway just west of Winnipeg.
Passengers on board this Greyhound bus woke up to hair-raising screams around 10 o'clock last night. What they saw, no one could have imagined.
I thought it was a fist fight at first. The one guy was standing up and, there was arms were flailing and stuff like that. And but then I saw the guy had a big freaking Rambo knife, hunting knife, and it was covered in blood, and he just kept going at the guy. It was like it was a robot, though.
Garnet Caton was sitting just one seat ahead of the victim. He says the guy was asleep with headphones on during the attack. When they saw what happened, he and others tried to intervene, but it didn't work, and they had to flee the bus with the driver.
And we watched him return back to the victim. We went around to the front of the bus to see what was going on, and that's when he brought the head up, and he came right calmly right towards us with the knife in one hand, the head in the other. And the three of us were just standing there in shock, and he just calmly looked at us with sunglasses on, dropped the head in front of us like it was no big deal.
The suspect did try to get away but couldn't start the bus. When RCMP arrived on the scene, the suspect could be seen at the front window of the bus. With one failed escape attempt, he tried another, smashing a window and jumping out. Police, however, grabbed him and took him into custody. At this point, RCMP are saying very little about the suspect or the victim.
The victim was pronounced deceased at the scene. His identity will also not be released pending notification of next of kin.
The question everyone is now asking is why. Passengers say the suspect appeared fine earlier in the trip. He even chatted with people during a smoke break. Corey Olmstead is in shock today. He chatted with the victim.
I never really took the time to get to know him, but he seemed to be okay, right? Just a kid.
The passengers were put up at a hotel in Brandon, though they say they didn't get much sleep. All they did was keep replaying the gruesome scene in their heads.
The guy had, he wasn't screaming at the guy or he wasn't in a rage. It was just very calmly killing the guy.
All of the passengers who were on board the bus trying to get to Winnipeg have now finally made it to their destination. All of the passengers are being offered grief counseling. Eric?
Thank you, Crystal. And you can watch more of the dramatic witness interviews on our website at globalnational.com. And now to the fallout from all of this. Could more have been done to prevent the attacker from boarding the bus with a knife? Lauren McNabb looks at whether there should be more security on buses.
You don't need to pass through security or have your bags checked. In most places, you don't even need to buy a ticket in advance to get on board. One of the selling features of bus travel?
It is a lot easier.
But after last night's vicious murder in Manitoba, bus riders are asking if it's all a little too easy, especially in Edmonton, where that trip originated.
Get more security going into a bar than here.
I mean, I felt safe getting on the airplane with all the security and the checkpoints, and here there's absolutely nothing.
Just thinking about it, I'm actually shaking a bit. It's creepy.
While Greyhound repeatedly stressed today that violent attacks are rare, it can and has happened on long-haul trips before.
It's a sad situation here.
In 2002, 2 passengers were killed in a California crash after the driver's throat was slashed by another passenger. And in 2006, a Nova Scotia suspect fleeing from a double homicide shot himself while on a bus in Boston.
This could be used as a weapon of opportunity.
Shouldn't be getting on the bus.
You should not be getting on the bus.
Instead, this security analyst says bus terminals should run more like airports, with metal detectors and passenger screening.
So maybe this could have been picked up at the bus terminal. Maybe there might have been some ID issues. Maybe with a search they would have found the knife.
Considering the remote places buses travel, Greyhound said airport-like security is just not feasible, but added.
Yeah, I've been working with Transport Canada to review inter-city bus security.
Let's keep in mind, this is as bizarre and as tragic as this is, it is extremely rare.
But also terrifying. While more security would likely end up costing passengers more, on a day like this, most said that's the price they'd be willing to pay. Loretta McNabb, Global News, Toronto.